But we begin with new developments in the fast-changing 2016 Republican race. Ben Carson announcing some major staff cuts as part of a campaign overhaul. We're going to talk more about that certainly this hour. Welcome to Happening Now, everybody. I'm Jenna Lee.
And I'm John Scott. Republican candidates obviously battling for voters with just 5 days to go until the first-in-the-nation primary in New Hampshire. Now, Dr. Carson's campaign announces more than 50 staffers will be let go in an effort to cut costs. But his campaign insists Dr. Carson is determined to stay in the race. And at this hour, Donald Trump, Ted Cruz, John Kasich are preparing to hold campaign events in New Hampshire. Our chief political correspondent, Carl Cameron's on the ground there with more. Carl?
Hi, Jenna. Marco Rubio speaking here at the New Hampshire Institute of Politics right behind me. He has been getting a surge of energy, a surge of crowds, and he's clearly getting a lot of attention and getting pounded by his opponents. From the moment he got here to New Hampshire after coming third in Iowa, Chris Christie was saying he was a boy in the bubble and that he was being insulated and overly handled and that all of his speeches and all of his remarks were contrived. This morning, Mr. Rubio fired back on America's News Headquarters Watch.
This is what happens at the end of a campaign. You know, we're 5 days away. There are candidates that aren't doing well. They're going to start to lash out. They think it might help them. I'm focused on the future of America. If there are policy differences, we'll discuss those. Those are legitimate. You know, we have differences on a policy. Let's talk about that because people deserve to know other choices. But beyond that, this election is about taking back control of the destiny of our country so that Bernie Sanders or Hillary Clinton is not elected president. This is about winning. And if I'm our nominee, I'll unite the Republican Party.
Marco Rubio this morning, and he's repeating those very same sentiments here to this crowd at St. Anselm's College in Goffstown, right outside of Manchester. You'd mentioned that Ben Carson is planning some staff reductions. It's about 34 staffers right now. That's about a quarter of his staff. He has about 90-plus staffers still remaining. But following the New Hampshire primary, there will probably be additional cuts, perhaps about 19 or 20, which would get it to about 50. Ben Carson has been reorganizing his campaign for several weeks, and this is the culmination of that exercise. At the same time, he's been complaining very, very aggressively about what he considered to be underhanded political tactics in Iowa, and that is not an issue that's going to go away. Last night, the Cruz campaign's communications director, Rick Tyler, said that there was absolutely at no time did the Cruz campaign suggest to anybody going to the caucuses that Carson had dropped out. He said that never happened, and the Carson campaign continues to insist that it does. Cruz, campaigning today, is also focused on Marco Rubio and Donald Trump, repeatedly taking shots at Trump. And just a short while ago, Mr. Trump, campaigning in New Hampshire, used an expletive to describe politicians in general. He is continuing his same rhetoric, spends a lot of time, excuse me, talking about the post office building in Washington that he's turning into a hotel. That was the predominance of his speech, though he did take shots at both Cruz and Rubio. Jenna?
Carl, thank you.